It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in this early Monday morning to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a show with a positive message for the community, a show about business owners, entrepreneurs, political leaders, and people making a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and regional community. So I invite you to please tune in each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. and take a break from some of the political talk and news talk that dominates talk radio just a little bit too much in the morning. And also, I'd like to invite you over to my website, Tampa Bay Radio. Over there, you can catch all of my past shows on demand. Just click on the show info tab, and you can see all the streamcasts and podcasts of the show going back all the way to the beginning of the show back in February. And also on the site, you can also review some of my prior Jamie Maloney real estate shows. I sell real estate in the Tampa Bay area, and before doing the business show, I was doing a real estate show Mondays at noon on this same station. And so a lot of great real estate information on the site as well. Also on the site, you can peruse all the local real estate listings and check out all of my pre-listed properties prior to hitting the market. I and my team specialize in the sale of bank-owned properties and have been in business over 8 years and are one of the leading teams in the nation for bank property representation. So just a lot of great deals on the website and just an excellent resource for real estate in the Tampa Bay area in general. Also, please connect with me on all the different social networking sites. You can find me over on Facebook.com/That Business Show for all the show updates. Also on Twitter under the handle Jamie_Maloney, and the show available on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud as well. Time to bring on my guests for the show. Got a great show planned for you today. Dr. Damon Reed is board certified in Pediatric Hematology and Oncology and is the medical director of the Sarcoma Department and leader of the Adolescent and Young Adult Program at Moffitt Cancer Center. Dr. Reed also leads the Pediatric Cancer Foundation Sunshine Project and is on staff as a specialty physician at All Children Hospital in St. Petersburg. He is joined in studio by Nancy Crane, Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. So, Nancy, let me begin with you. Tell me a little bit more about what the Pediatric Cancer Foundation is.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
The Pediatric Cancer Foundation is an organization, 24 years old, and we fund childhood cancer research. We're looking for less toxic, more targeted therapies for kids with cancer.
Now, how did you get involved in the organization? Take me back through your history with the organization.
Well, I was the director of the Tampa Bay Lightning Foundation and worked with kids with cancer, particularly with players who had suites, and got to know the organization very well. Also funded the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, and felt that the Sunshine Project had great promise. I was very interested in it, and timing just worked out, so I came over 6 years ago.
Okay. Now, take me back through the history. I mean, 20-some years this organization has been around me. What was the inspiration for this? Was there a certain person that was affected by childhood cancer, and this was the catalyst for the organization? But tell me the history of the foundation.
Sure. Melissa Helms and Rissa Trammell met in the waiting room at St. Joseph's Hospital, both having their young children just be diagnosed with childhood cancer. And once the kids were a little better, they continued their relationship and friendship and decided to start the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. And at that point, they knew the focus should be research. There's really no way to find a cure unless we do the research. And that's what we've been doing for 24 years. Okay.
Now, explain to me the Sunshine Project and how this is affiliated or it ties into the Pediatric Cancer Foundation.
Sure. The Sunshine Project was really the brainchild of Dr. Letson at Moffitt Cancer Center and Melissa Helms, one of our founders. And they felt that we needed a collaborative effort. So many people were working independently on research that we needed to pull the best, we call them our dream team, the best group of hospitals and doctors together to work collaboratively to try to find a cure for childhood cancer. And that's exactly what we did. Okay.
And you're joined in studio by one of these very doctors, Dr. Damon Reed, over here to my left. Dr. Reed, how are you involved in the organization in the Sunshine Project?
Thank you also for having us on today. I am the leader of the Sunshine Project, which means that I do all the day-to-day stuff to bring exciting new treatments to kids with cancer. And so a lot of what I do is to try to get the 15 hospitals that are working on this project on the same page and get everyone doing optimizing everyone's intelligence and passions and efforts towards the best trials for our patients.
Now, tell me more about your background in medicine, specializing in oncology, hematology, childhood cancer, but tell me more about your medical background.
So I always say that, I got my first job after the 26th grade. And so, you go to college, 4 years in medical school, 3 years of training in pediatrics, 3 years of training in pediatric hematology, oncology, and then you get a job. And so, and then you're practicing medicine. And so I'm in my 8th year of practicing medicine. So, in some ways I'm in my 34th grade.
34th grade.
Of education. And I really think that's what's wonderful about the field of medicine is that you are kind of constantly learning and constantly honing your skills. And so, the background, the training that I went through was, I would say, top notch. I mean, training in places like Boston and St. Jude and Memphis. And then I came to Florida where there was a lot of opportunity to improve upon things and to build in a kind of a perfect time a couple years ago to kind of come here when everyone was getting on the same page and everyone was shooting for the stars. And so it's just been a perfect time for me of kind of seeing an example of hospitals that have had it all together, and then coming to a place like Moffitt and All Children's where everyone was actually was joining that club. And
now, how did you get involved with the Pediatric Cancer Foundation and the Sunshine Project? I mean, what was the catalyst, so to speak, for you getting involved?
Good. I think some people go into the field that I go into to take care of patients, and the status quo is good. There's a passion to take care of these kids, and enacting all of the successes from the past is enough. For me, it wasn't, though. I felt like I had to leave the field after my 30 years in it. Again, I'm in the first trimester of my field, but I wanted to leave the field different than I walked in. I wanted to make a difference, and the only way to do that is research. The only way to do that is to do something new. And so when I took out a blank sheet of paper one day and said, what do I want to do? I kind of wrote down what I wanted to do, and then I looked around in the area to see who else was wanting to do that, and the Sunshine Project absolutely matched it, almost word for word.
Now, Nancy, tell me more about the Sunshine Project. Tell me some of the successes of the organization and some of the fundraising that has occurred from this. But tell me a little bit about how the organization and the foundation has given back to the community.
Sure. The Sunshine Project is really the name for our research, and simple as that. We raise money every day for the Sunshine Project. It is our mission. So our focus is really direct, and we have 6 major events. We have 3 in the fall, and we have 3 in the spring. And this year, we're proud to say we just finished our fiscal year, and we gave $1.2 million to the Sunshine Project, which is huge for us. That's grown over the past 6 or 8 years from anywhere from 350 to 400 to 1.2. And it really is due to our donors, our board of directors, and our staff. And we need really good, wonderful new trials. And that's what Damon has been able to do with his leadership, is to bring these doctors and hospitals together. And we take ideas and new projects from all of them. We have a retreat every year, which we'd really like to talk about today. Mm-hmm. But they bring us their ideas, and they vote, and then bring those to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation to fund. So, we're all working together.
Now, Dr. Reed, how many different doctors have you pulled together through the Sunshine Project? I mean, tell me about the collaborative effort that you've arranged here.
So Moffitt is the coordinating site, and there's 14 hospitals around the country, 6 of them in Florida. And at the last retreat, which was on June 18th and 19th, there were between 50 and 60 doctors at the retreat from those hospitals and a couple other, actually. So we have an open doors at the Sunshine Project, and if people have great ideas, then we're all ears. And so we invited some people from other major institutions as well.
Now, how does the project work? It's obviously, you said, a research-based initiative. I mean, are y'all collaborating together on like certain trials, or are y'all kind of working independently? But tell me how the collaboration is working.
Good. the infrastructure for research, kind of like there's oversight. Let's put it that way. And so there are institutional review boards. There's the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. There's all sorts of people who are making sure that patients are protected. We can't just, we don't want to, and we can't be crazy about how we treat people. So it has to be done with patient safety, number one. And so at Moffitt, we work on all of that aspect. What are the regulatory things? And we have honed a process whereby a lot of the paperwork and a lot of the more mundane but very important things are done. But we are very collaborative. We have 3 trials, one of them recently completed, but 2 of them that are still ongoing, and they are run and led by people from 3 different institutions. We have from the retreat, we have 4 to 5 different project ideas that will be run, and that will add another 3 institutions of leadership. And so, very much our goal is that the collaboration will be a true collaboration where the money is equally shared throughout, where the leadership opportunities and the opportunities to excel and to bring ideas are truly level across the
How has support been from donors in the community in general? Tell me a little bit about how the community is giving back to the organization.
Support has been great. We still need more support. The more support we have, the more trials we can fund and research and help to these physicians who have the ideas. So one of the things that's helped us greatly is our ranking. Charity Navigator, we were one of the top 10 charities to watch in the nation. Also, we are BBB Wise Giving Alliance approved.
Better Business Bureau?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And also GuideStar with a gold star ranking, which is the highest you can achieve.
Okay.
And what we're finding is people not only in Tampa, in the Tampa Bay area, but also people around the country are looking for charities that spend money wisely. They're fiscally responsible. Mm-hmm. And we fit that bill. Not only are we doing good work, we're spending donors' money very wisely. We have 7 people who work for the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. We have 1 office, and we're working with 15 hospitals nationwide. So it's a big project, the Sunshine Project. Mm-hmm. But we want to keep the funds where they should be going and not to too much administration. And so we need more money, but we've also people have been very generous because I think they're being educated about what we're doing. Yeah,
just some great information, and thank you for what you're doing for the community. I got to take a quick break, but coming back from the break, we'll be talking a lot more with Nancy Crane. She's the executive director at the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, also joined in studio by Dr. Damon Reed. Coming back from the break, we'll talk a little bit more about the specifics of childhood cancer and the results of some of their trials going on at the Sunshine Project. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Serious crash in Pinellas 22nd Avenue South at 22nd Street South. We have multiple lanes blocked in that area. Your Hillsborough Avenue eastbound crash now cleared at Down Mabry with I-4 westbound looking slow from Hillsborough into MLK where an accident's off on the left shoulder. See traffic problems? Call Andrea Ferb of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Unbound. Poverty doesn't discriminate. It feeds on the forgotten. At Unbound, they believe in the collective wisdom of society's oldest and most vulnerable members. Providing sponsorship for the elderly is just one way Unbound is different. Learn more at unbound.org.
Today, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 91. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 79. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance, high 90.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And as always, learn more about this show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Currently talk with Nancy Crane. She is the Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, and she's joined in studio along with Dr. Damon Reed. And so, Dr. Reed, tell me about what's going on with some of these trials and stuff, the Sunshine Project that's, funding these trials. But tell me about some of the results and what we can expect on the horizon.
Okay, the clinical trials that we have conducted so far are three. These are treatment trials, and so when we try to get a new combination of medicines together, what we need to do is treat a certain number of patients to figure out what a safe and effective dose can be. And so all of these trials started at relatively low doses and kind of keep escalating up and up and up. The trial that's completed and furthest along, even though it was the third one that we opened, was a combination of a new targeted medicine called sorafenib and a bit of an older medicine, about a 20-year-old medicine called topotecan, which actually comes from a tree in China. And so these two agents, combining the new and the old ways that we treated cancer in children, was a new paradigm, and honestly the first time that this has been successfully conducted in children. And so we treated about a dozen patients, and at three different dose levels. We found that the dose that you can give for each individual agent was not possible when you combined the two together. It was too toxic. And but we did learn quite a bit about the combining these newer and older medicines, and I think have paved the way forward for this sort of combinations going forward in children.
Now, these medicines and treatments that you just mentioned, how is pediatric cancer, I guess, different from the different types of adult cancers? You hear about specific cancers in adults, whether it's liver, lymphatic, whatever, but in child you hear just pediatric. Are these types of treatments? Are they for all types of cancers in children?
Good. I think that's an excellent question, and that's one of the biggest challenges in pediatric cancer. So about 1.2 million people in this country will get cancer this year, and 12,000 of them will be kids. So it's only 1% of all the cancers. And we can't lump it together. It's not like lung cancer, although lung cancer is increasingly being split apart into all the different kinds of lung cancer now. So cancer is not one thing, and that's very clear to me, but it's not always clear to the audience. And in pediatric cancers, there's probably 50 to 100 different types of cancer. So it is true. That's one of the biggest challenges. Some of the ideas and some of the new trials that we're going to run will be for a specific type of pediatric cancer. Maybe a couple dozen kids in the United States per year will get this cancer. Some of the trials that we've run, like the ones that we've done most recently, the three trials that we had open, again, one of which is completed and two are still open, we do lump together a bunch of different diagnoses to kind of get an initial signal to see which one it might be working in.
So in children, does the cancer attack a certain type area in the body, or is it just all over? But I'm just trying to make the connection between the adult, where you always hear the specific type of cancer that the adult has.
If you look at the 12,000 cases of pediatric cancer and you kind of make it a pie chart, a big part of that, more than a quarter of it, would be leukemia, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, and then acute myelogenous leukemia, another AML and ALL are a big part of that chunk. If you add in brain tumors, which again, there's a dozen or so different brain tumors, then you're over 50% of that pie chart. The tumors that I'm most passionate about are sarcomas, cancers of muscles, bones, blood vessels, fat, all this sort of stuff that sticks us together and lets us walk around and move around. Those are about another 20% of the cancers, and if you include the kidneys in there. And then lymphomas are another big chunk of cancers. But kids get a lot of different cancers, and it's one of the things that attracted me to the field is it's true medicine. It's head to toe, brain and eyes all the way down to the feet and ankles. I mean, you can get cancer anywhere.
I've talked to a number of doctors and parents that have been afflicted by pediatric cancer, and one of the things they say is there's just not a lot of treatments and medicine on the market for this type of thing because the profitability is just not there. Speak to this point, please.
Absolutely. I think that is absolutely true. So if you're a drug company and you're making a new drug and you're shooting for a pediatric cancer, you're any business person in that company would say, what are we doing? We're shooting ourselves in the foot. There's no way this is going to work. Why can't we get a breast cancer or a lung cancer drug where, literally there's 100 times more patients per year and oftentimes thousands of times more patients a year. So we do get kind of the things that trickle down. So that's when we got sorafenib for our sorafenib and topotecan trial. That was a major win. I had at least a dozen doors slammed in my face back then in 2008 and 2009 when we were developing this trial. And again, the trial finished in 2014. So it was about a 5-year process from getting a yes from the company, Bayer, to getting it all going through. One of the challenges is the pill size. I mean, the adult pills were too big, so we had to get these things from a vault in Germany in order to get the 50 milligram, the small enough tablets. And so there was all kinds of things along the way that were challenging.
What are some of the side effects of these medicines? I mean, one of the driving points of the organization is for more natural cures, not the radiation therapies, things of that nature. But tell me a little bit about the side effects that the children experience on these drugs.
Good. One of the things that I liked about the sorafenib and topotecan trial was everything was by mouth. Everything was, you swallowed it. So you did not have to spend long periods of time hooked up with IV medicines in our clinics. These are patients who have failed a couple lines of treatment on their third or fourth line of treatment. And so we do not know anything for these patients that would help them. And that's when clinical trials are used. By making this all pills, our patients spent very, very few days, maybe a couple hours a week in the hospital, as opposed to some of the other treatments where they spend 5 nights in the hospital. They're in there for more often than they're not out. The side effects were relatively mild. The toxicities that stopped us from going up on higher doses were low blood counts, where patients needed blood or platelet transfusions, or were vulnerable to infection for more than a week. And these are side effects that we see very commonly in the first and second line treatments too. So they weren't excessive, but they were unpleasant enough that we didn't go higher on the doses.
Well, some great information. Got to take another quick break, but coming back from a break, we'll be talking more about pediatric cancer with both Nancy Crane, Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, and Dr. Damon Reed, who was just speaking just a moment ago. And also you can learn more about them and the organization over at fastercure.org. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be coming back here in just a moment. Also learn more about the show over at tampabayradio.com. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
swagger on. Go to Experian.com, become a member of Experian Credit Tracker, and take charge of your score.
We're watching, we're telling, TrustDale.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. Who do you trust to change your oil? I used to do it myself. That is, until I found Haviland Express Lube. Specializing in total car care, Haviland Express Lube offers routine maintenance checks by certified experts using only premium Haviland products. At Haviland Express Lube, your car's performance is their priority. Plus, your entire purchase is protected by my Make It Right guarantee. Call for your TrustDale deal.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
US 19 Service Road to Bel Air, currently dealing with an accident blocking the right lane. If you're on I-4, you're still going to find that westbound crash at MLK causing backups to Hillsborough Avenue. From there, it's your usual slowdowns. 275 southbound also has a crash at Fowler Avenue. Those backups starting at the scene heading into Bush Boulevard. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. Help your child discover the magic of nature and create memories that'll last a lifetime. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest or park near you and discover other cool things to do when you go, like fishing, biking, or even camping. Visit discovertheforest.org.
Winds, weather center forecast. High today getting up to about 90 degrees. And partly sunny skies. We'll see about a 50% chance of those scattered showers and storms. See more of them in the afternoon hours. Low tonight into the upper 70s near 80. Impact Radio 1250 Winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, and learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, all shows are streamed live here in studio, so if you're over on the website and you see the Watch Live Stream button, you can click on that and see all the action here in the studio. Also, you'll see some other stuff pop up on the website that you will not see if you're just listening to us on the airwaves. And as always, I extend an invite to any and all listeners out there who would like to come into the show and promote whatever it is that they're doing in the community, whether it's an organization or a business. I'd love to hear from you. The best way to get me is through my contact form on my website, TampaBayRadio.com. And there is no charge to come in here as a guest, so please don't let that stop you from contacting me. Currently talk with Nancy Crane, Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, along with Dr. Damon Reed. And Nancy, I want to come back over to you. You were talking about the different events that you use to raise funds, as well as a retreat that you do each and every year. So first of all, tell me about the retreat.
Sure. The retreat this year was incredibly successful. We had a lot of returning doctors, but we also had a lot of new doctors, and as well as the doctors attending, we had all of their coordinators from the hospitals. And it's just a wonderful time for them to bring updates to us about the research that we're funding, and also to talk about the successes of their trials, and also to bring new ideas to us. And we're getting ready to really see how those projects ranked among all of the doctors.
Okay.
And at that point, we'll make some decisions, and Damon will work with everyone to make decisions about future funding.
Now, you're telling me during the break that the Sunshine Project is, it's unique in the sense of how it's tied to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation, that none other foundations have a project like the Sunshine Project. But elaborate on that for the audience, please.
Sure. The Sunshine Project is unique because the Pediatric Cancer Foundation is funding the trials that are brought to us under this collaboration. So basically, they're our trials. We're funding them, and we'll take money from anywhere to fund those trials and the research. Also, we have a new lab at Moffitt that we're funding, which is very important. Damon will talk about that a little bit more, and a new total cancer care program that he's leading. So we, in the past, foundations and organizations around the country would fund a research project or a trial in a specific hospital, and then they might fund another one. They, would give grants to individual institutions. We're different because all of these collaborative partners, the 15 hospitals, are working directly with the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. So when people fund us, they're helping kids around the country. We're preventing kids and families from having to travel a long way to go on a trial, because there should be a hospital somewhere close to them where they don't have to travel too far, and maybe not travel at all. We go all the way up the East Coast with our hospitals, Utah, LA, and also a new hospital nationwide in Ohio.
I want to come back over to Dr. Reed. We were talking in that last segment about some of the trials that have already come through the pipeline, but you've got a number of other trials that you want to speak of. So tell me about what's on the horizon with the Sunshine Project.
So like Nancy was saying, there is a Sunshine Lab now as well. So what we do is we try to look at all of the available drugs, at least 54 of them in particular forms of cancer. So we look at an osteosarcoma or Ewing sarcoma, and we look at 54 drugs. We take into account all the data that we know about these drugs, what are levels that you can actually get in people, and we're filtering them to the point that we can always get the best two-drug combinations to study. And so we're taking things at a discovery level and now moving them into trials. And the TCC, the Pediatric Total Cancer Care, is another example of this. When you have 14 hospitals around the country through Moffitt working together, what you can realize is that some of these ultra-rare cancers that a single site might see one a decade, if you have 14 sites, all of a sudden you can pull 14 cases pretty quickly and 28 cases pretty quickly. And some of these cancers that have literally never been studied, no one has paid attention to them because they're too rare. The limitation is getting samples together. And now we have built this Sunshine Project in a way that we can get people to collaborate and share these precious resources and bring them here to like really chew them up and unveil their codes.
What makes the treatment of cancer so challenging? Is it safe to say that cancer is simply just when cells fail to stop multiplying and they form masses in a body? So to me, it seems like every cancer should then be somewhat treatable on the same levels. But tell me about the challenges. Obviously, I know that's a very oversimplification of the process. But tell me about the challenges of treating cancer.
I love the question. It's a fantastic question. So the hallmarks of cancer, if you Google hallmarks of cancer, that kind of unveils the modern thinking of what causes cancer. And there's a whole bunch of tricks. The latest hallmarks of cancer have 12 tricks: making new blood vessels, never dying, avoiding the immune system, doing all kinds of things that makes a cancer cell a cancer cell. Sometimes this takes hundreds of mutations acquired over decades of time, like in melanoma. Sometimes this can be done with one big hit, one big mutation that happens, and that happens in some of the pediatric cancers. What we realize, though, is that each cancer is unique, and when you get enough cancer samples together, you can actually figure out pretty well now what are the steps that are going on. Unfortunately, you need someone who can understand math in an extraordinary way and huge amounts of data. Big data is all the rage in lots of fields right now. And the Pediatric Cancer Foundation has enabled us to bring one of these people down, Dr. Andy Brohl, B-R-O-H-L. But he's a wonderful person who trained at National Institutes of Health and Mount Sinai and New York, and he's able to do this. So we can take tumor samples from around the country, bring them here, chew them up, and get all these C's, T's, A's, and G's and the letters of their code. And then Andy's going to be able to figure out, what are the mutational patterns, and then our lab, our Sunshine Lab, can say which drugs would hit these mutations for these particular cancers. And so what we're really hoping is that we could take old wax samples of cancer from around the country that are just sitting on someone's shelves and turn them into the next generation Sunshine Project trials that will make a difference for these patients.
And so cancer cells just trick the immune system, right? The body does not recognize them as foreign cells, and that's one of the main hallmarks of cancer is just the immune system doesn't recognize them, and they just grow, uncontrollably, correct?
Yeah, it has to avoid the immune system. It has to be able to make its own blood vessels. It has to learn to jump around the body. It has to learn all of these sorts of things. And what it gives you is kind of this a sense of how complex cancer is, but it also gives you a whole bunch of Achilles heels, a whole bunch of areas where if you could only get the immune system to recognize a cancer, boom, the cancer should be gone. The immune system should wipe it out. If you could only choke the blood vessels, and that's what sorafenib does, if you could only choke the blood vessels, then you should be able to slow it down. Maybe not get rid of it in that way, but slow it down. And so there are a lot of, there's a lot of steps, these hallmarks, and these steps are accomplished through at least 600 different genes that we know of so far. And so what it gets is like if it's a ginormous pair of dice where you just have all these different ways that the numbers can come up to get cancer.
So if we find the cure for lung cancer, so to speak, does that mean we found the cure for all cancer then? It doesn't, does it?
No, not at all, exactly. No. But lung cancer, for example, sometimes has a mutation in a a gene called ALK. And recently I went to bat for a young patient who's under the age of 2 who has another cancer, inflammatory myofibroblastic tumor, which has an ALK mutation. And we used a drug that's FDA approved for lung cancer for this patient. Now, that took hundreds of emails, lots of steps in a kind of single patient clinical trial through the FDA, but it was worth going to bat for this patient, and so far that drug's working. So sometimes, even though it's a different kind of cancer, the gene or the step that it took to get there is the same.
Now, how has progress been made since your time in the medical field to today? I mean, are we going to see a cure for cancer in our lifetime, do you think? I mean, has progress been made to that level yet, or is it still there's just a lot of ground yet to cover in this area?
I think we'll absolutely see a whole bunch of cures for a whole bunch of different cancers. But cancer will still be a leading cause of death.
Still be a leading cause
in patients. Yes, it's so. I do think that there are of the 1.2 million cancers, there's been huge successes for slices of them. So turning on the immune system in certain ways has changed stage 4 melanoma from a death sentence to 30% of people being cured, but just by one drug and just by turning on a switch in the immune system. And so that's a huge success. That's 40,000 patients a year, and a third of them are doing better. The epidemiology is not perfect, but there are going to be successes for individual cancers. One drug that cures all the cancers is not going to happen. And in pediatrics, I think one drug that fixes individual pediatric cancers is going to still be a rarity. I think we're going to need combinations. I think hitting a cancer with something that turns on the immune system and chokes the blood vessel supply, and then an old school drug that probably kills cancer cells just by being very toxic. Some combination like that might be perfect because you could kill the cancer cells, open them up. The immune system has a whole bunch of different things that it can attack. And then by choking off the blood vessels, you might slow it down from growing. And so you're holding back the cancer, you're breaking open some of it, and then this immune system can all of a sudden see it better. So combinations are, I think, where we need to go in the future.
Coming back to pediatric cancer, which is the focus of the discussion here, is the onset of pediatric cancer on an increase right now? Are we seeing a decrease in this? Tell me about what's going on out there.
It's another really good question. The number of new pediatric cancer cases is right around 12,500 and has been for decades. I don't think that there's huge changes in the numbers of pediatric cancers that have come up. You can sometimes see, for melanoma, for example, by using tanning beds, it does seem like teenagers are getting a little bit more melanoma, a couple percentage more per year. But I don't think that it's true that a lot of the other cancers like leukemia and others are changing over, even though our society and a lot of the lifestyles are completely different than 20, 30 years ago.
And then you have another program, Total Cancer Care. Tell me about this.
So Total Cancer Care is a way of getting these precious resources, which is tissue, is to getting those together. So what a big thing that we've realized in our field over the last decade is that when a tumor comes out of a patient, that we're getting it out for a clinical reason. We want to get it out of their body to try to cure the patient or to try to make the diagnosis. But in the past, that's all we've done with that tissue. The Total Cancer Care is about using that tissue for discovery. So using that tumor developed, and why did that develop? Mm-hmm. And if we can get enough patients from around the country together, and we can get cohorts of patients, especially with rare cancers, together, I think that we're going to be able to figure out some of the Achilles heels for some of these cancers.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Got to take another quick break, but I'm sure you'll definitely be making some headways in this battle. Some just great information coming out of this discussion today. Currently talk with Dr. Damon Reed of the Moffitt Cancer Center, along with Nancy Crane, Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Learn more about the foundation over at fastercure.org. You're currently listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305. 0305.
Hey there, it's Lynn Wise, the founder of Wise Business Advisors and Contractor Business Alliance. I am a certified value builder advisor, and I help business owners build a company that will allow them to have the business that they dreamed of when they started. Why did you go into business for yourself? I'm sure it was not to work 100 hours a week with no work-life balance and no financial freedom. What am I talking about? I'm talking about building a business that provides value to you and your family now and in the future. You can learn about the 8 essential areas of a business that you must build to have a business that can be an asset for your future. Go to wisebusinessadvisors.com and take the Value Builder score. It is free and will deliver your score immediately on how you are doing on building a valuable business for you and your family. Or call me at 772-834-8513 to learn more about the Value Builder system.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage want you to experience the thrill of one-day underwriting and the comfort in knowing your loans will be clear to close in record time. While the competition looks to a lost closing date, Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage focus on their 12-day clear to close. They do this by utilizing their world-class operations staff to underwrite your loan within 6 hours, process your loan in 12 days, and have your loan closed in time. Underwritten in 6 hours, cleared to close in 12 days. Bud Spriggs and Movement Mortgage.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
I-4 westbound right at MLK now has that accident cleared. You're still going to find backups all the way to Hillsborough Avenue, and it's also slow from 22nd heading into 275. Serious crash on 22nd Avenue South right at 22nd Street South, and a new crash has popped up 78th Street at Causeway Boulevard. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterwick Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by iHeartMedia.
At iHeartMedia, we've harnessed the power of sound in a way that can help you expand your reach to a new group of target customers and grow your business through customized and effective advertising. Call 844-BUY-RADIO or go to iHeartMedia.com.
Today, a 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms, high 91. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 79. Tomorrow, a 40% rain chance, high 90.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. Thanks for staying tuned in this early Monday morning to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Again, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a show with a positive message about business owners, entrepreneurs, and people making a difference in and around the Tampa Bay and regional communities. And as always, I invite you to my website, tampabayradio.com, to learn more about the show and watch all the past shows on demand. And it's a great site for both real estate information as well as information on this show and the extensive number of guests that we've had through the show so far. Just click on the guest network tab on the homepage and you can see each and every guest along with a short bio of what they do in the community. And if you click on their show cards, you can even see a link to their YouTube videos up on my YouTube channel. Currently talk with Dr. Damon Reed and Nancy Crane, who's the executive director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. I want to come back over again to Dr. Reed, though, and we've been talking a lot about, the Sunshine Project and the different trials that, the project through the, the foundation that it sponsors, but you've got a number of upcoming trials on the horizon. So elaborate a little bit more on what's coming up.
I think the future is very bright for our trials. I think we're able to be a bit more daring and to really shoot for the stars again with these tumors, with these trials. And so two of the trials involve this immunomodulation, turning on the immune system. One is out of the University of Florida and Dr. Dwayne Mitchell. taking small pieces of brain tumors that have been taken out and training the immune system for an individual patient to see this, and then give those T cells, that immune system, back to go fight the tumor or whatever's left of it, to try to prevent it from coming back. And so that's an exciting trial that is imminently going to start within this next year. We also are working on an immunomodulatory, turning on the immune system through a company-sponsored trial. And then we also have some small molecules, some targeted therapies to explore as well, combinations of medicines as well. And again, the future is very bright. I think the next generation of trials that we run will actually change the outcomes for patients and hopefully be moving towards the front line, the first thing that you would give patients rather than
how do you
backups.
find participants for these trials? People that are listening, maybe they've exhausted a number of their resources and they'd like to get involved in these trials. I mean, is there a process to apply to be a part of these trials? But talk to me a little bit about how you find participants for the trials.
We advertise our trials through clinicaltrials.gov, which is a requirement. Anytime you open up a clinical trial, you post it there, so that patients have a free way of looking up their diagnosis, their age of the patient, and you can see where trials are open. And so you could see, usually people go to that site once their doctor says there's nothing else we have to offer. There's nothing, we've exhausted our options. And that's where these Sunshine Project trials fit in.
I didn't even know about that. So give that website out again. I'd never heard of this.
Yeah, www.clinicaltrials.gov.
Clinicaltrials.gov. So that's for any type of trial out there.
Any trial, anything that's going on. But you could type in a rare type of cancer and up will pop 32 studies that are going on. And then you could limit it to the ones that are open and accruing patients, putting patients on. And it'll get it down to, say, 12, and then you can click on each one and you can find out what's required, what the age is, what the function of various organs needs to be. And then down at the bottom, you can click and it actually will show you on a map where it's open.
Wow,
and
that's
then
great
it has all the
information.
contact information.
I was not even aware of that myself. So I want to come back over to Nancy Crane, Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. And you have we talked, in the first segment about, the fundraising and the different events that you have coming up throughout the year. But let's talk about some of these specific events. What's on the horizon? What's an upcoming event that's on the horizon next?
Well, September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, and we have 2 events in September. We are looking for individuals to attend those events and also continuing to add sponsors. The first one is on September 24th, Thursday. It's called the Brenner of Hope, and it's Brenner, Brinner. It's breakfast for dinner. So who wouldn't want to come to that, right? Who doesn't like to eat breakfast for dinner? And Dr. Reed will be speaking, as well as one of our families. We have cocktails and we have dinner. It's a great event, and it really kicks off Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Well, actually, it's at the end of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, but throughout the month of September, we will be doing everything we can to educate people in the Tampa Bay area and nationwide that it's go gold for childhood cancer. The color is gold, bright yellow is fine, and to really let people know that they need to take a look at childhood cancer. It's different.
Right.
And we're working really hard to fund new trials. Also on September 26th, there's a 5K. It's called the Cheval Cares 5K. And we'd love for people to register for that walk. They can go to our website to look at any of our events. It's www.fastercure.org.
Okay. Now, why should listeners donate to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation? Let's go ahead and give the pitch to the community, to get involved and stuff. And we talked about this a little bit on that first segment. But, what sets your organization apart? And talk to me about just the trustworthiness and the reputation and history of the foundation again.
First of all, we're 24 years old and have continued for those 24 years to grow into an organization that's treating kids not only in the Tampa Bay area, throughout the state of Florida, but nationwide, and collaborating with incredible physicians at 15 hospitals nationwide, with Moffitt really leading the charge here in Tampa as our administrating hospital. And we are ranked very highly with Charity Navigator. We're a 4-star charity, but we're also ranked in the top 10 nationwide. Fiscally responsible, and certainly needing so much, any amount of money. You want to give on a monthly basis, just call us. Go to our website. If you want to get involved with an event, please donate anything. You can have a lemonade stand. Your school can get involved. Kids can get involved. We need volunteers. And every single dollar for us counts. It's not just the hundreds of thousands of dollars that are given sometimes in grants, but a $10 donation, a $20 donation, an outside event that someone could do for us. People can give a gift in memory or honor of someone instead of a birthday party and the gifts going to you. Ask for donations to the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. So there are many, many ways that people can help.
And I also see the Tampa Bay Business Journal awarded you the organization Nonprofit of the Year. I mean, that's incredible.
Well, it was a Nonprofit of the Year in Human Services, and we were really proud to receive that award. And it really goes to the work that our physicians are doing in the field, our board of directors, and our staff, and our certainly many volunteers that we have. And we need more. So look us up, fastercure.org, or give us a call at 813-269-0955.
Okay. And also, you're on all the different social media sites out there. I see people can tag you in Twitter at Pediatric Cancer, also Facebook.com/FasterCure as well. And for people that want to get involved, they don't necessarily have to get involved financially. I'm assuming that you can get involved out there in the community through just coming to the events as volunteers, correct?
Absolutely. We need volunteers at all of our events. We have a big fishing tournament where kids will fish off the docks at the Vinoy. 100 kids. It's sponsored by the Yared Foundation. And we will have 2 days of competitive fishing, and that's in the middle of October. And then we're going to go to some clay shooting in late October. And we're really looking forward to a very busy fall. So we hope that people will join us.
Well, just some great information, and there's a great discussion today. I thank you both for being in studio today, and I'm sure the community will, is already supporting this and your top 10 charity through Charity Navigator, and I'm sure you're going to get a number of supporters, from the show as well. So just some great information. Nancy, thank you very much for what you're doing for the community.
Thank you very much.
And that was Nancy Crane, Executive Director of the Pediatric Cancer Foundation. Learn more about her and the organization over at fastercure.org. Also, thank you to Dr. Damon Reed of the Moffitt Cancer Center for some great discussion on some of the specifics of cancer. Dr. Reed, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie, for having us.
Absolutely. And again, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney. Learn more about this show over at TampaBayRadio.com. And please connect with me on all the different social networking sites, Facebook.com/That Business Show, and also on Twitter under the name Jamie_Maloney. Again, you've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.